Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. At the college I attended, one of the core curriculum courses we were supposed to take related to the humanities. I chose to take art appreciation, and I really enjoyed that class. I think that's because I have zero artistic talent, and I didn't really know anything about art. So much of what I learned was fascinating. This week we are considering the people the Lutheran Church remembers and commemorates as examples of faith for us. The folks we are looking at this week all died in April, and today we want to focus on three significant artists. Albrecht Durer, a methodical explorer of the world and of humankind's place in it, was born in Nuremberg on May 21st in 1471 and was the son of a goldsmith. His artistic talent was recognized early, and at age 16 he was apprenticed to a local painter. Durer was the first Northern European artist to immerse himself in the art of the Italian Renaissance. Like Leonardo da Vinci, Durer had an enormously inquisitive mind and was one of the most learned of the Renaissance artists and the friend of many distinguished people at the time. His home in Nuremberg still stands. In April of 1521, Martin Luther stood trial before the Diet at Worms, and the Emperor Charles V had concluded that he would proceed against him as a notorious heretic. On the 17th of May in Antwerp, Durer heard the news and was distressed. He later wrote, "I know not whether he lives or is murdered, but in any case he has suffered for the Christian truth. If we lose this man, who has written more clearly than any other in centuries, may God grant his spirit to another. His books should be held in great honor, and not burned as the emperor commands, but rather the books of his enemies. O God, if Luther is dead, who will henceforth explain to us the gospel? What might he not have written for us in the next 10 or 20 years? Durer long desired to paint Martin Luther, but never was able to. When Durer died, Luther wrote in praise of him. You know one of Durer's works. The story goes that early in his career, Durer and a fellow struggling artist roomed together. Neither sold many paintings, and so it was decided that one of them would work to support them while the other painted. Then, when the paintings started to sell, the first would pick up his brush again. It was decided that Durer would paint while his friend worked, washing dishes and scrubbing floors. Eventually his paintings did sell, and he rushed home to tell his friend, "Now you can paint." However, his friend's time washing and scrubbing for his job had ruined his artistic touch, and he was never able to paint again. In tribute to his sacrifice, Durer painted his friend's hands, folded in prayer. Perhaps you know the painting, Praying Hands. A near contemporary of Durer's was Louis Cranach, the elder, whose work is lighter and more joyful than that of Durer, and he was able to be the portraitist of the Reformers. He was on the most intimate terms with Luther. When Luther went into hiding in 1521, Cranach was among the very few with whom he kept in touch. When Luther married, Cranach was the sole lay witness, and Luther stood as godfather for Cranach's daughter. His paintings often express the message of the Reformation. Finally, for today, we want to talk about Matthias Grünewald. He was born in the 1400s, and he spent most of his life in the Upper Rhine area under the patronage of the Archbishop of Mainz and then of Albrecht of Brandenburg. Grünewald's limited influence and renown is in contrast to those of Durer, yet his works are highly valued. He was fascinated by the crucifixion as a subject for painting, and his greatest work is the Isenheim altarpiece, that is a gruesome depiction of the crucifixion, and at the same time somehow glorifies Jesus. Grünewald died in 1528, at the time secretly siding with the Reformation. I don't have a lick of artistic talent. May we all have a great measure of faith like theirs. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.